ERP customization. Should you do it or shouldn't you do it? This is $1 million question, and there is no black or white answer to this particular question. There are compelling arguments on both sides of should and shouldn't. Now, this video is about giving you absolute clarity on ERP customizations. Hello all, my name is Raman and I'm the founder of ERP Doctor, which is a consulting firm which deals with shortlisting, implementing, maintaining and successfully running ERPs for any kind of company from different industry verticals. In my experience, over a period of 15 years of working with 250 plus companies and 1000 plus executives, business owners and management people, I have come across many challenges faced in regards to ERP customization. This video is an attempt to put together and content which can give you absolute clarity on ERP customization, and as I do in all my videos, the expectation is to keep the content as simple and stupid as possible. Now, before we move any further, let us understand what is ERP customization. Even though most of the viewers would know what an ERP customization, it is always better that we understand the basic explanation for it. The ERP that we are using or the ERP which you plan to implement has a standard set of features and functionalities. Now, if your business process cannot be mapped to those standard features and functionalities, we call it an ERP gap. In a very simple way, there are certain business process of yours which is not available as a feature in the ERP. Then we call it as a gap. Now, to overcome this gap, what you need to do is you need to develop your requirements along with the other features in the ERP. This act is called as customization of ERP. I think this is the most simplest way of putting forward what an ERP customization is. Moving forward, I want to give you certain truths and facts about ERP customization. Now, even though there are a lot of facts and truths about ERP customization, I would make sure that I just give you 3 facts and truths about ERP customization, which are very key and critical in nature. The first truth. Now let's get this fact very straight. You are not going to find an ERP solution in the market which has features 100% matching to your requirement. This is the most important fact that you have to buy in when you are selecting an ERP or when you are using an ERP. If you can find an ERP which is off the shelf, out of the box, 65 to 75% match to your business process, then it's a great ERP solution for your business. The rest of it is a gap and you will have to manage it. The second truth, any customization will call for a code level or program level change. When you're talking about a code or a program level change, you need professionals to do it. And when we talk about professionals, they come at a certain cost. So ERP customization is definitely a costly affair. A point to be noted, if you are getting customizations done at a very subsidized rate or it's coming at free, please be guaranteed that it's a compromised customization or a compromised solution which will have its flaw. The third fact, customizations being not native, meaning to say it's not developed with the same intent as the ERP developer developed it, will definitely have some kind of performance issues. It's very rare to say that we have a customization which doesn't have any kind of performance issues. Performance issues ranging from it works slow, it basically affects the speed of the application, hinders with updates and upgrades, and so on. Now that we have discussed some of the facts and truths about ERP customization, let us look at the merits and demerits of ERP customization. Now, as far as the merit goes, you have one single largest merit, that is, you have your process developed in the ERP, and which is a great success and a great differentiator and the greatest merit that you have of all the merits. And I will just stick on to that one single merit here. As far as demerits are concerned, there is a whole lot of demerits available, but I'll stick on to a few key critical points that needs to be kept in mind. The first demerit is ignoring the standard features and functionalities. The moment a company decides or a management decides or the user decides that he needs a customization, what happens is they cease or they stop exploring what is the standard functionalities available in the ERP. I have seen that in most of the cases, the customization achieves the same result as the standard features and functions. The only thing is that the user interface, the look and feel is not as per the expectation of the user or the management, and thus they go in for a customization. Demerit number 2 is updates and upgrades. So we had already discussed this in the truths and facts. When you have a customization, when you run upgrades and updates which are provided by the core ERP solution provider, and customization, which basically is done by a local vendor or by an in-house expert, definitely faces some challenges during upgrades and updates, and this has to be dealt with. The third demerit is extended timelines. If you are doing a customization during the implementation of ERP itself, so it definitely has impact on timelines. So a standard ERP would get implemented faster, and when you have a customization included as part of your implementation, then generally it takes longer. The fourth demerit is basically cost overruns. So when you are dealing a customization, the inability of a customer to give the complete requirement to a vendor lands up in a situation where requirements keep changing and the vendor basically charges you for the change request. And this basically calls for higher cost or cost overruns. The fifth demerit is scalability issues. Since customization is not native to the basic ERP application, when you scale the application, ERP application, in terms of number of users increasing or in terms of number of transactions increasing, then the customization would have been done with certain set of users and certain quantity of transactions to be done. But when you start increasing it, there definitely will be some issues, which can be corrected as and when you go, but still scalability issues are persistent with customization. Sixth and the last demerit is vendor login. So whenever you have a customization done through a vendor or through an in-house expert, so what happens is you are dependent on that particular vendor or an expert to give you continuous upgrades with regards to that particular customization. So you basically land up in getting locked with the vendor, and if there is any eventuality and you plan to come out of the vendor, you find it very difficult. So these are some of the demerits of ERP customization. As you can very well see that I just gave you one merit, which is a very credible merit, whereas I gave you at least 6 demerits. It clearly indicates that customization should not be your choice until and unless there is a dire need or a die-hard requirement. So what is the indication that you need an customization in your ERP solution? If you are in a stage where you are planning to buy or implement an ERP solution, then please look out for an ERP solution where 65 to 75% of your business process can fit into the ERP. Try to keep the customizations as minimal as possible. If you have already implemented an ERP solution and it's a running solution, then make sure that you discuss with your solution provider or ERP vendor and try to configure the standard features and functionalities and use them as much as possible. As I told you, if there is a dire requirement or a die-hard requirement for customization, please follow the below points to make sure the customization's impact on your business is as much minimal as possible. Point number 1, hire thorough professionals to do your customizations. Now, how do you know a person who's going to do a customization or a company who's going to do your customization is professional? Please talk to them on their experience of doing customizations and do get some good references on their past or existing customers where customizations have been done. The older the customization and customization is working perfectly indicates that the company or the person who has done the customization is a professional. If possible, even try to visit, go to their location and talk to the users on how good is customization and what kind of issues they are facing. Point number 2, do the customization in alignment to the base ERP product. Meaning to say, if there is any terms and conditions or coding requirements given by the base ERP solution provider, make sure that your customizations align to it. If possible, call or write a mail to the solution provider and tell them that this is how we are going to do the customization and seek an approval from them to keep the impact or negative impact as much minimal as possible. Third point, come up with a clear requirement document. A requirement document where all your customization is clearly listed out, and you'll have to make sure that you take the document and explain it to the vendor or the solution provider who's going to do your customization, and also document his understanding and his feedback about the customization. A good solution provider or vendor will definitely challenge you on your requirements, and if possible, will give you a positive feedback of how to improve your requirements. Fourth point, once your customization is done, please make sure that you run a thorough validation. It's called as a user acceptance testing. You know how your customization should work, how the input should be given, how the output should be expected. Please make sure that all the scenarios of your business, which was given during the requirement stage, is tested, validated, and the expected results are coming out. And if there are any corrections that you want, feed them back to the solution provider or vendor and have it get corrected and run a revalidation. If my guess is right, every customization, when validated, will at least go for 3 iterations of validation before the final product is stabilized. Point number 5, and this is a very crucial point that you have to remember, ensure that the ownership of the source code or the codes or the program which are being used for the customization is clearly agreed upon. If the customization is being exclusively done only for you and you are the one who are going to pay the entire amount for the customization, you can always ask the vendor or the solution provider to give you the source code and get it in a very documented way, so that if there is any eventuality with the existing solution provider or vendor, you can always take these codes or source codes and go to another vendor and have it redeveloped or get corrected or recalibrated. This is to make sure that you don't get locked in with a particular vendor when you do your customization. Now, summarizing, this is my personal piece of advice when it comes to ERP customization. And believe me, it has worked very well for more than 200 plus companies wherever I have done ERP implementation and executed customizations in those companies. When you implement an ERP solution, make sure that you use the ERP solution with the standard features and functionalities for at least a period of 6 to 18 months. Now, this makes sure that you stabilize on that ERP platform. You try to use the ERP to an extent where you basically become a master of the ERP application. Once you are stabilized on the ERP application, you get the maturity or your capability builds to a place where you are qualified enough to give an customization requirement. Not only that, over a period of 6 to 18 months, there might be different requirements which was not identified during the initial phases, which might crop up, and you can consolidate them and create a list of customization. This technique which I have told you just now has proven very well in a lot of implementations. So I repeat once again, stabilize first over a period of 6 to 18 months on a standard ERP features and functionalities. After that, go in for customizations. And when you go in for customizations, consolidate your requirements and go for them in phased manner. If you have any doubts or clarifications about ERP customizations, me and my team will be more than happy to help you out. We have the required email IDs where you can mail us and we will get back to you. Thanks for watching this video, and we will get back to you with one more interesting video on ERP.